Everybody, Amy here, just coming to you from my kitchen today and making burgers. So I wanted to just bring you along the journey and share with you a couple of things that I do when it comes to making burgers that makes them simpler and not even simpler, but just better. So I wanted to share with you. So there's an interesting debate out there in the world about burgers. Super funny. Some people think you should add bread. Some people think you should add breadcrumbs. Some people think that all of that stuff is just filler. So I'm super curious to know what other people do. I typically added, I don't need this yet. I typically added breadcrumbs. But I've been doing a little bit of reading and asking some friends, and so today we're going to do something a little different. But before I start, I'm going to add a little bit of some spices. So I've gone a little bit different again than I've done in the past, and I am going with some of our 3 onion rubs, and that's because the 3 onion rub is a dry rub. You'll see a lot of recipes for like French onion soup mix, which carries so much sodium in it. I love this 3 onion rub. I want you to, let me get some out here so you can see it. It literally is like 3 onion. There's all kinds of variety in there. There's some red onion and some sweet onion. And it just is such a great little smell. It even has a little bit of garlic in it. So dehydrated onion, red onion, salt, onion powder. It's really, really great flavor. And then I'm actually going to add some garlic powder. Sorry, not garlic powder, some garlic rub. So again, this is different than garlic powder because it's actually substantial. Like, let me just get some of it out here for you so you can see it. It's actually got like chunks in it and stuff. And the reason that I'm going with this instead of like adding fresh garlic to it is because I find sometimes when you're cooking something like this, if the fresh garlic or even the raw onion are on the inside, they don't always cook up perfectly. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some bread. So not breadcrumbs, but just standard sandwich sort of bread. And this is going to create a little, we're going to use that to sort of create a little bit of almost like a paste that's going to go in our burgers. And so what the bread does is it actually acts like kind of buffer is the wrong word, but kind of like and not even filler, but it adds moisture and it adds sort of airiness to our burgers so that we're not eating hockey pucks, because that's a win. We don't want to be eating too many hockey pucks. And the other thing that we're going to add after we get all the bread in is we're going to add some milk. So I'm doing an entire pack of hamburger, like a club pack. So I bought this at Costco, and it was on, well, it was on sale at Costco, but a good price for hamburger, just so you know, locally here from the store, not from the, farmer, is $7.69 a kilo. And so it has not been that for quite some time. So I'm adding some bread, and this was about 2/3 of a cup of milk. And I do always add milk to my burgers and my meatballs because I find that it really does keep them moist. I really like a moist burger or meatball. And so the other thing that's going to do, because I've added dehydrated spices, it's going to then also use that milk to rehydrate some of them. So some people wonder if the bread is there to sort of suck up some of the grease. That's more common if you've used breadcrumbs. It's going to soak up some of the grease and some of the water that's in so I'm just going to show you. You can see I'm sort of creating a bit of I'm just going to make sure it's all mixed together so that it's nice and soft, because the reason I'm doing this before I add it to the meat, because I was actually talking to a colleague about this, and she was giving me a hard time because I am a mixer gal. If you know me, you know I love my Bosch, and we have historically done our burgers in our mixer. It's just easier. You throw it all in, it all mixes up. But as I've been learning, see, I still have lots to learn. The more you play with your meat, the tougher it gets. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So when you go to make burgers or meatballs, meatloaf, anything like that, you need to play with your meat as little as possible. I didn't know, so now I do. So my goal here with this meat and this mixture that I've created is really just to kind of fold and squeeze in. I'll show you, as just until it's just mixed in. So I have some people, I have put gloves on. I have some friends who like to use their mix-in top for this job. If they don't like to touch it, just because it can go in and get all of that. I find I just like my hand in there. But again, kind of like a muffin, right? When you're making muffins, you should stir them as little as possible so that they don't get tough. Well, your meat is just like that. The more you mix it, the tougher it is. So you want to just make sure you get all of that. Oh, this smells so good. Oh, I can smell that garlic rub. So, all right, I think I've almost got it all mixed in. There. So I just don't want to mix it because then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to make the burgers. So, one of my favorite products in our line, I feel like I need to get that all mixed up. Okay, one of my favorite products in our line is our burger and slider press. So, a couple of things about it. So this is the burger and slider press. So this has got the slider insert in it. I don't know if you make sliders, but they're kind of a really fun little appetizer. So in the scale of, I was thinking about this and I was kind of giggling. We have 3 sizes of scoops, small, medium, and large. The small is 1 tablespoon, the medium is 2, and the large is 3. In some ways, we have the same thing with our meatballs. We have meatballs, sliders, and burgers. So, maybe I'm just, shouldn't laugh at my own humor. Anyway, this is the burger side of the press. The slider snaps in there. This is the little push insert. Okay, so if you're doing a slider, you obviously use the small side, and the burger, you're using the big side. Now, when I am using the burger press, I am always, so I buy these. You can get these off Amazon, or if you're close to a Great Canadian Wholesale, I buy them. This is a brand new box because we were out. They last like forever. I think you get 1,000 of them, like for less than $10. But these are super handy when it comes to burgers. So the other thing I like to do is I like to weigh my burgers. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if you can, big bowl out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna turn my scale on, and I'm gonna put a paper in, and then this is where I sort of figure out, because if you think about it, when you buy a burger in a restaurant, you're buying a 4-ounce burger or a 6-ounce burger, right? So get your kitchen scale out. So that right now is a 5-ounce burger with kind of 2 heaping large scoops. So I might just add a little bit more. There. That is so if I had it in my hand, you'd be able to see. And then I add another paper to the top. And then I just press it down. Now you want to just, again, we don't want to like smush it because that's just like massaging it too much, right? You're going to pack too much of it together. We want to leave it out so that there's a little bit more air in there. We're going to give it a good pack. Now here's a fun little thing. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I know this is what it was like when I was a kid, when you made hamburgers and they were on the barbecue and then they ballooned up. Does anybody ever have that happen? The reason they balloon up is because they don't have a little divot in the middle. So I don't know if you can see that, but can you see the little divot there? Our press puts a little divot in the top. So now I've got my burger here. So now when I've got them in the freezer, I can just take out as many as we need because they're all individually separated. So now what I'll do is I'll actually go and freeze all of these. I freeze them and then we'll vacuum seal them once they're freezed, or once they're frozen, and put them in to a bag. Because the other thing you want to do is you want to try and get, I didn't do a great job of that. It was actually could have been a little bigger. You want to try and get them even too when you're putting them in there, because that's how they cook more evenly, right? If one side is big. The other thing about the divot that I like is that it makes the center a little bit shallower, so that it cooks more evenly, because the center isn't quite as tall. So I don't know so you can see the divot there again. And I really like, so I'm just gonna make this one, and then I wanna make a couple of sliders because I have an occasion this week to make some appetizers. So I think I'm gonna make a few little slider appetizers. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add this, snap this piece in, add another, and I think a slider is probably a good large scoop. And then we'll put one on top. It also keeps this way cleaner to use the papers. So the papers are not very expensive and they're worth their investment. And then, I'll take the paper off that to show you how cute that is. Look how cute that is. Little divot in the center. I'm actually gonna air fry these because obviously, you know, we've been using the air fryer for everything. Little sliders are perfect in there because it just bakes them away. You don't have to tend to them like you would on the barbecue because they're smaller. So you can just put them and, well, let me see because I have an air fryer tray here. So you'll be able to get like at least 6 sliders onto the air fryer tray and create some little fun appetizers with them. So I'm excited about that because I haven't made a lot of sliders in my life. So that is really what I'm up to with burgers. So I just want to share those little tips with you today and some little ideas for you for making burgers and to make them just a little bit, a little bit moister, a little bit not so tough because I have had hockey puck burgers for a long time in my life. And so now I know all the little tricks to helping that not to be a regular occurrence. And I could really use this same mixture if I wanted to make meatballs. I wouldn't use it if I was making like sweet and sour meatballs, right? Because it's got garlic in it. But if I was making a stroganoff meatball, that would be good. And so, or just like a tomato sauce meatball because it's already got so much garlic in it. So good and such a great easy way to again, it's about making your own food. It's about knowing what's in it, right? So knowing what's in your burger and knowing what's not in your burger is a really helpful thing when you're trying to be conscious of how you feed your family. So that is, I've got some more burgers to make, so I will keep at it, but have a great afternoon and I'll talk to you again soon.